Ignore my hair. It's gonna do really, truly whatever it wants. This is not where I thought I would be in 2020. I never thought I was going to be a BTS stan, let alone in this year with so much other shit going on. But here I am. It's been a long time coming, honestly. I've casually liked BTS for like 4 or 5 years now. I always used to say I'm not in the army, but I'm like enrolled in the draft. Where like I didn't consider myself like one of the fans, but like if they had a new album coming out or a new single or like a music video that people needed to like stream for them to get like records broken or whatever, I was there. I was there to help. I was there in times of need, but in all the other down times, I was just like a casual fan, didn't really think of them. Until Dynamite was dropped. And it's a really wonderful culmination of things that's pushed me to become a BTS stan. And I'm so grateful, but let me tell you the journey. Dynamite dropped, I think like end of August, right? That sounds right. End of August-ish. And that was the tail end of me getting back into One Direction. Yes, I still love One Direction. This is a very ironic video to come out right in the middle of my One Direction re-craze, but like, I still love One Direction. We'll get to that later. But I was getting back into the One Direction fandom, and then Dynamite had dropped, and all the BTS stans were asking all the Directioners who were like flooding Twitter and whatever to be like, can you please stream Dynamite? We need to break this record. And I was like, sure, I'll stream Dynamite. And then I watched it, and I was like, this shit's fire. I had listened to a lot of their music before, but it was never really like a thing where I like watched them perform, which is what really sells you when you see them perform and you're like, wow, that's talent. So I watched them, and it was the song All in English, which makes it a lot more accessible to my stupid brain that only knows English. Hate, worst language ever. But that really just made me like kind of obsessed. It started my obsession. It planted the seed. But watching that, I was like, there's 7 members. That's too many. How am I ever going to tell them apart? How am I ever going to like know the difference between them? Because they've gone through so many hairstyles, and sometimes they look like each other. It's like getting into Five Sauce in like 2014 when Ashton and Luke were the same person. It's like, how am I ever going to do this? But that night, I streamed Dynamite a whole bunch of times. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos of like telling you the different members and showing you pictures with their names and taking like quizzes trying to tell them apart. I studied them. I studied their faces and I studied their names to learn the difference between them, because I wanted to know the difference. I wanted to know all of them. Now I can tell them apart, no problem. I know their stage names, I know their real names, and we'll get to that later as well. But it would have stopped there. I would have just been like, oh, Dynamite's a good song, I love this band, but I'm into One Direction right now. But one of my friends who we went to school together, but we weren't friends at school, but we followed each other on socials, and we've become friends over quarantine. She's really into BTS. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll dive a bit deeper and maybe find out a bit more about them. And I am a big Halsey stan, in case you didn't know. And as you know, they had a song with Halsey, Boy With Love. My favorite fucking song. But I listened to that one, I was like, oh, okay, this song and this video and this performance and this dance, amazing. And I think it just really snowballed from there. It was just me being like, wow, I do love BTS, and they're all amazing. Because thankfully there was this huge like master list, like master doc on Tumblr, because in 2020, you can't get into any artist without knowing if they're problematic or not, because then they're just gonna get canceled, and then you're gonna feel bad when you actually like them. You're like, another fucking fave let me down. So I had to see if they were problematic. But there's a master doc on Tumblr when I googled BTS problematic, and it's all like the good and the bad things that they've done like in their whole career. And it really just made me love them more, because sure, they've done some things that are problematic. I do not care about literally any of them. But they've done so much good. And you know how hard it is to find an artist that like cares about their fans, like genuinely cares about their fans. It's just so good to see. And they care about like actual like dismantling oppression. And I do be in love with them. It's just so nice to like actually not have to worry about your faves being canceled, because I know that like they're good people. And it's just, knock on wood, honestly, we're not gonna jinx that, but like they're great people. This is also wood. I don't know why I had to go all the way over there. but I love them. Now we're gonna talk about how much I love them, because this might become a BTS stan channel. I might just talk about BTS from here on out because I am in love with them. Truly, they bring so much joy into my life. It's not even funny. Like, so many times in 2020, as most people have, I've just been filled with so much dread and angst and sadness because the world is burning and it's the worst time to live in ever. So what do I do when I'm sad? I watch BTS, and I swear to God, it changes my mood. It gives it a full 180. Like today, literally today, maybe like 4 hours ago. I wasn't even gonna film this video today because I was so filled with sadness. I don't know why. Life, maybe, but it was like generally a good day, but I was just so sad. I was like, I can't do anything. I'm just gonna, like, I guess, watch some TikToks and go to sleep. But then I was like, wait, I haven't watched any BTS today. Maybe that'll change it. And I rewatched their car. That's what changed it. No. I completely forgot. Sorry. This was a big part of the journey. I watched Dynamite, and then I watched their carpool karaoke with James Corden. That's what I think made me fall in love with them. Because then in that video, you get to see their personalities. And that's when I was like, oh my God, they're so funny, and they're so, like, their energy is just so good. If you haven't seen it, oh my God, please watch it. You will love them. Like, and that's, I think, what set a lot of my biases. Even though I don't have a bias, I love all of the bands I've ever liked ever. I was an OT5 for One Direction. I'm an OT7 for, I almost called them Bangtan, BTS. Because obviously I love all of them, and I'm not going to do that thing that I did with One Direction where I was like, oh, I love all of them, so I have to buy every individual piece of merchandise that they have because I love all of them. I'm just not going to buy any solo merch from them because that will break my bank account, and we don't have that kind of coin in 2020. Okay, I don't have $200 to be spending at Office Depot anymore. But I love them. Anyways, Carpool Karaoke. Carpool Karaoke changed my world. It really made me love them as people, and that's what I think moved me from casual fan to BTS stan. I still don't want to say I'm in, like, the army, because I feel like that's a big title, and I don't want all the baggage that comes with that, but I do love them, and I will buy all their music and give them all of my money and support them with my whole life, because I love them. But watching that video, it brings me so much joy. I think I've seen that video probably 7 to 12 times. And I only watched it for the first time in, like, September. And I just love them. I love them so much. Okay, let's get into my biases, because that's what everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to know who's your favorite. If I have to choose, if, like, gun to my head, I will literally murder you right here, right now if you don't tell me. RM is my bias, which a lot of people don't agree with. A lot of people don't like him. I don't know why. I watched a video where I was like, oh, the most and least liked members of BTS. Like, a lot of my faves were in the bottom. I'm like, how? How do you not love all of them equally? Question. But apparently RM is now a lot of people's favorite. I don't understand. I think a lot of my liking for him comes from the fact that we see him the most in the interviews that I can understand, because I only know English because I'm stupid. And a lot of their interviews where you get to see all of them talking, it's only in Korean and they don't have subtitles, so I have no idea what they're saying. So I don't get to, like, know them as well as I get to know RM, but I do love RM. Before we get into it any further, I want to talk about their names, because I do know all their names, but I'm really trying to decolonize a lot of my brain and a lot of my life. So I'm really stuck on what I should call them, because I know all of their stage names, obviously. The easy white people way to say all their names. But I also want to be able to say their names properly, like the real names properly in Korean, because I feel like that's a big part of, like, showing respect for them as a person. But I also don't want to, like, fuck it up and make it seem like, I don't know, I just don't want to be, like, that annoying person. You know, like those Korea-boos who just try to say everything in Korean. But I genuinely want to do it out of a place of, like, respect for them and being able to actually say their names. Because I know, like, in the Black community, being able to say someone's, like, ethnic name is very important to them as a person and showing them respect. So that's the frame of mind that I'm coming at it for them, and that I want to say their names properly. But I don't know if, like, they prefer to go by their stage names. I don't know. Any BTS army, let me know in the comments. But I've been really fucking trying to say their names properly in Korean, because the way that they write it in romanization is not how it's pronounced at all. Like, let's talk about Jungkook. I think it's pronounced like that, like Jungkook, because it's not Jungkook. I don't know who the hell said it was like that, because that's not what they say when they say his name. it's hard to figure out exactly how to say it because I have to watch a bunch of interviews where they're just speaking in Korean and then I have to wait for them to say his name and then I have to replay it like 10 times to like hear exactly what it's saying. But like when I hear them say the names that start with J, it doesn't sound like it starts with a J, it sounds like a more of a CH, and the K's are not K's, they're G's. So it's like, I don't know who romanized their names like that, but that's not how they say it. It's like Jungkook, Jungkook, slower. It's not even a tonal language. I don't know why I care. The only other language that I kind of know is Cantonese, and that's a tonal language. So to me it matters, but it doesn't in Korean because Korean isn't a tonal language. I'm trying so hard. It matters so much to me that I say their names properly. There's Jungkook. I think that was okay. Maybe, maybe not. Then there's Jimin. Jimin. It's not, the last half of his name sounds wrong. Jimin. That was okay. I think. That sounded okay. Because it's not J. It's not Jimin. It's not, like, I feel like the way that they say it and that they allow, like, Americans to say it is more of a stage name version of their name. It's not their real name. That's because that's not how it's said in Korean. But like, you see, it takes me so long to say it correctly that I feel like at some point, just for the sake of the speed of the conversation, you should just say Jimin, because that's easier for me to say. But it matters to me that I practice to say his name properly so that I can say it easier, because it shouldn't matter how long I take to get his name correctly. It just matters that his name is said properly. Out of respect for him, that's what matters to me. I know how important that is to a lot of other people. I don't know if that's important to them, but I imagine it is to say their names properly. Then there's also Seokjin. That was awful. What the fuck was that? There are names I can say easier than others, like Namjoon. Namjoon, I say chill. I think I'm a lot more nervous trying to say it for like a recording where people can be like, no. So when I just say it to myself, I'm a lot better at it. There's Yoongi. Love that man. Taehyung. I think it's an HY sound. I don't think it's Taehyung or Taehyung. I think you do pronounce the H. It's Taehyung. Like that, I think? I don't know. I want to say it right so bad. Seokjin. Because I think I'm stretching out the Sok part too long. It's not Seokjin, it's Seokjin. There we go, I did it. Who am I forgetting? Oh, J-Hope. I call him J-Hope, I call him Hobie, but Hoseok, I think that's how you say his name. It matters to me a lot that I say it right. I know that I've just rambled on about how to pronounce their names in Korean for like a good 5 minutes, but it matters a lot to me that I know how to say it. Even if like they want to go by their stage names, I fully respect that. Whatever they want, whatever shows the most respect to them, not just like oh, you can say whatever. No. Whatever shows the most respect to them, that's what I care about. And it matters a lot to me that I'm able to say their names properly, out of respect to them and all of that, all that they've done. I love them. Anyways, I will probably be referring to them by a variation of their real names and their stage names throughout this video. But RM, back to the original plot of the movie. RM is probably my bias if I had to choose. I do love RM, but I love J-Hope. J-Hope was my favorite in the what's it called? In the carpool karaoke. Because his energy, he has so much energy all the time, and he's such a good dancer. You can see it in that video. He has so much like fun in it, and he's always smiling and laughing, and then in the dance at the end, amazing. I just love to watch him in that. I think though, like with One Direction, my bias is influenced by my individuality complex of I can't like the most popular members. I couldn't like Harry or Zayn in One Direction. I had to like Liam. And in this same fashion, while I do love all of them equally, and I do actually genuinely love J-Hope and RM, I do think that Jimin and Jungkook are great. I don't think that they could ever be my favorite because of that individuality complex. I do love them though. I love seeing Jungkook in American interviews where he's just truly spacing the fuck out. He has no idea what's going on. His brain is so empty. I love him. I love watching him. He's so great though. He loves Troye Sivan. I love that man. JK got my whole ass heart. I think I love him for a lot of the same reasons that people love Tom Holland. They give me the exact same energy. Just sort of like brain a little bit empty, a little bit goofy, but big heart. Big heart. And I love him for that. I love Jimin. I just watched their Map of the Soul 1 concert, day 1 and 2. And when he cried because he just was so happy to perform for us, I love that man. I love that man. I love him so much. I also obviously love Suga, August D, Yoongi. I really love that he's like the more quiet, sort of like darker, more mysterious, more introverted member of the band. I love that for him. He's not my favorite, I think, because he's a bit more reserved and I haven't seen a lot of him. I'm still a very new fan. I'm still very new into getting into BTS, so I haven't seen a lot of their content. There's so much content. They've had like fucking 4 reality shows. There's so much for me to get into, and I'm in the middle of school, so I do not have the time right now, but as soon as this quarter is over, all I'm doing is watching BTS. I'm so excited. They literally just had another fucking reality show in the soup, and it was coming out and nobody told me. I can't wait to watch it though. But I love him. I love the moments when he is able to like talk and like be like himself. Like there was an interview I just watched where somebody asked him about August D and about his solo music, and he looked just so happy to talk about it, and I love that man. But my friend who got into BTS, I think that's her bias, and I'm not gonna step in that direction. But I think her bias is also RM, so like, I don't know. I think we all love the Hyung line. I do. I love the maknae line. Of course, I love the maknae line. Who doesn't fucking love Taehyung and Jungkook and Jungkook and Jungkook and fucking Jimin? Like, who doesn't love them? But like, the Hyung line, y'all need to fucking stop sleeping on them. Like, I think the majority of my biases, can they be called biases when they're everybody? But the majority of my biases are all in the Hyung line. I don't like RM, J-Hope. I recently started loving Jim. I'm so sorry. I want to say their names are so bad, and I think that's making my brain stupid. More stupid than it actually is. Anyways, Jean? I don't want it to sound like I'm mocking their names either. I really want to say it correctly. Jin. Mr. Worldwide Handsome. I've slowly started liking him as well. Like, I like all of them obviously, but more. Like, he's just so funny. In the carpool karaoke, when he's like, my nickname is Worldwide Handsome, you know? And James is like, that's my name in school. And he's like, haha, you're a Mr. Joker guy. He fully gassed him. That shit's hilarious. He's so funny. I love him. But I also, speaking of the maknae line, fucking love Taehyung. My god, that man is so well dressed and is so good looking. He has never worn a bad outfit ever. I've never seen him in a bad outfit. He looks good all the fucking time. I watched a YouTube compilation of him speaking tiny English, and I truly fell in love with that man. He is so kind, and his mind, and he just is so sweet, and he looks good all the fucking time. I also love how good of a judge of character Taehyung is. He will not pretend to like somebody for any reason. There's so many times in interviews where one of the interviewers is being annoying and he will not even pretend to put on a smile. And I respect him so much for that. I love that man. I love all of them, truly. I love all of them. So I do have biases, but I don't have biases. I feel like you should only really have one bias. Yeah, but I love all of them. OT7. The band would truly not be the same without them. It's like with One Direction. Like, Zayn can leave and they can still be a band. I don't think that if any of those members left, it could still be BTS. It would feel weird. It would feel wrong. Like, knock on wood, none of them ever fucking leave. Like, I love that they're doing solo music. Just like what I said with Ashton's music. I love when you can be in a band and then still do solo music. Because no band ever needs to break out for people to do solo music. Period. I've only gotten into really like the big hits. I haven't listened through a full album yet because again, I do not have the time and I know it will fuck me up. But I heard all the songs in the Map of the Soul 1 performance, obviously, and I loved all of them. I love that they all got a solo. Did you see Taehyung on the fucking carousel singing to the younger version of himself? That man's beautiful. That man's so beautiful. But my favorite song is probably Boy With Love. I think that the vibe of it is amazing, and if you like listen to the lyrics, and like I had to read a translation of them, but they're still amazing. This is the same thing that I said about History, the Taiwanese soap drama that I watched. Like, the story obviously is going to get a little bit lost in translation because that's just how languages work, but if the story gets to me still super fucking good after losing some of that meaning, that means in its original language it must be fucking amazing. So like, the meaning in Boy With Love, and I also love Halsey, so that collaboration is everything. Also, have you seen the music video? Have you seen Taehyung in the last scene with the feather boa? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Amazing. I love him. I love Boy With Love. I also obviously love Dynamite. I think that I really like this band because they dance. I haven't had a boy band that danced in so long. I've never had a boy band that danced this fucking well, because my boy band journey went from the Wiggles to the Jonas Brothers to Big Time Rush, who I consistently confuse with BTS just by namesake alone. One Direction, and now BTS. So like, I've never had a band that danced this well. And as somebody who loves to dance, their dances are so fun. And I like to pretend like I can do them. I cannot. I cannot at all. But I like to pretend like I can. Their dances are so good. And I love to just watch them dance. I love to watch them sing and dance, and just, they're amazing. I love the dance in Boy With Love, and I love the song, and it's amazing. Dynamite, the dance for Dynamite, it's all beautiful, amazing. I love the vibe. I love how they're always so well dressed. Whoever their stylist is, let me send them an edible arrangement as a thank you. They never look bad, especially in their group looks. Like, the stylist knows how to do them so well, because so many times when you try to dress like a boy band to look the same, you dress them in the same outfit, or like the exact same color. Like, I've never seen like boy bands do a cohesive look well without them looking like carbon copies of each other. But BTS always looks like put together, like in one group, but also separate in their individual styles, and it's amazing. I think it's because the stylist knows to just stick to one color scheme. Like, they'll be like, okay, the colors for this one are like whites and purples, or this one's like reds and blacks, and like you can mix and match with their different styles between those colors so that they're not all wearing the same thing, and they just always look so good. They always look so good. Let's talk about their hair colors while I'm at it really quick. I love them obviously with all their hair colors. I don't think they've ever had a bad hair color. I didn't like Jungkook with his red hair, if I'm being honest, in like their early eras. Obviously I did like RM's first hair. That's a given. But other than that, I've loved all of them with all their hair colors, but I have such a strong preference for all of them with brunette hair. In 2018, when they all did their American like press junket and they all just had dark brown hair, so beautiful. They looked so good. And they looked like that again for the Map of the Soul 1 concert. It was such a gift. I love them all with dark brown hair. I do, yes, obviously them with all colored hair is cool and fun, and I love all of them, but like, all of them with their brunette hair is a gift. I also love On. I just got into my new favorite song though right now is On Pon Man. That song is so fun. That song goes off and I love it. I love it a lot. But you know what song I love that I'm mad I will never hear live? War of Hormone. People can say whatever the fuck they want about that song objectifying women. I do not care. I do not care because that song goes so fucking hard. That song and that dance, I cannot believe I will never see that song live. I am so angry. I cannot wait for the general public to uncancel that song so that I can see it live. It is so good. That song is so good. I don't care if it's just like, oh, it's objective. Sometimes we can let it slide if the song's really good. Have you ever heard Drugs by Little Aaron? We can let it slide if the song's really good. And I think that's what we should do for War of Hormone. It's amazing. I think another big reason that I fuck up saying their names is because I mumble my words a lot. We're gonna work on that because they deserve the most respect for all that they've given me. But it's just, that song's so good. And have you seen the music video? Have you seen the music video for War of Hormone? If you have not, you better fucking stop this video and watch it right the fuck now. They all look amazing. Maybe it's because I'm an emo kid and I just love that aesthetic, but they all look so good. Did you see Taehyung Did you see him with the lollipop? Did you also have a heart attack? That, they're just great. I just love them so much. This is obviously the very start of my BTS journey. They're coming out with an album like next month. This month? I think it's in like 2 weeks. Very soon there will be a new album, which is wild because they just came out with an album like this year. But I'm very excited. I love BTS now. Twitter, I hate Twitter. As I've said in my previous videos, I hate Twitter. But there's a big fandom war between One Direction and BTS for some reason, and we got over it for a little bit of a second where we were just like, oh, we're fandoms that stick together, but everyone's still toxic, so I don't want to get into it. Because I truly believe you can like both. Like, One Direction is still on hiatus. There's no reason we cannot move on and like a band that's currently making music. Although, the news just came out that they are not exempt from the military, so they're gonna all have to take a 2-year hiatus and go be in the fucking military. What? I don't... They already said ACAB. I hate the military, but the fact that they're gonna take them away from us for 2 years just as I'm getting into them, I hate that shit. That upsets me deeply. Back to Twitter. They like to make it seem like you can't like both of them, like you can only like one or the other, because so much of like news, not even like real news, but like pop culture news is all about like pitting fandoms against each other to see like, oh, which one's the best, mostly just to get their own engagement up, just to be like, which group of fans can like trend this thing more. It's really stupid. I really hate fandom wars. But because of that, because the fandoms of both are so big, they've had to be like rivals for some reason. So it's sort of like not allowed to like both. So I think that's stupid. But again, gun to my head, if I had to choose, if I were in a timeline, a wonderful, beautiful timeline in which BTS, One Direction, and Big Time Rush, even the Jonas Brothers, we'll throw them in too, were all at their peaks, all at their favorite eras for me at the exact same time, and I could only like one of them, or I could only go to one of their concerts, I would 100% pick BTS every single time. Not just because I love them and because they're so much more talented than all the other groups. Yes, I said it, and I will not take it back. I said what I said, and I meant what I said. Can any of those white men dance? No, they cannot. But also, why would I, as an Asian person, give my money to these coloners when I can support BTS? Why would I not support 7 talented, caring, wonderful Asian men? They're right there. They can have all my money. And they're not with an exploitative K-pop group management. They might be. There's a whole thing where like one of their managers was like abusing Jungkook. That wasn't cute. But they're not like a YG or an SM that's like capitalism, you know, whole thing. I'm not gonna get into it because I don't know that much about it. But if I had to choose, the point being, between like One Direction, who I love, Big Time Rush, who I love, and BTS, who I love, it's gonna be BTS. Because they bring so much more to the table. There's 7 of them, first of all. And they can all sing and dance, which Big Time Rush tried to do. But we all know Logan cannot dance. And all of BTS is Asian. Come on. Us Asians gotta stick together. We gotta support the Asian economy. I love them. This video is truly just to document this momentous point in my life. This is the start of my BTS stan journey. I'll probably make a lot more videos down the line as I get more and more obsessed with them. But I have a plan. Here's my plan. I don't have like dreams and desires to be a musician, even though I do, and I always have. But I don't think that that's like in the cards right now. But I would love to perform with BTS. I don't know how or why or when, but I would love that. That's a life goal. That's a life dream. That's on a bucket list. I don't have the skills yet, but I believe one day I will. But I also believe that like I can't get to them in that fashion. I don't have the skills as a musician performer to hit them directly on their level. So I think I need to continue my actor modeling path and go around that. Because they've talked about a bunch of really obscure movies, like American movies that they've seen that I've never heard of. And I'm like, if I could get into one like really good, like worldwide international box office hit movie, and they see it, they see me, that's my in. I think that's my in. I can't hit them on their level because then they'll be like, oh, well, we bring this to the table and everybody else brings this to the table and you don't bring anything to the table. But if I hit them around the corner on an acting level that they don't do, then we're on equal playing fields because we're playing different games. Does that make any sense? Point is, I'm going to perform with BTS one day. We're manifesting it right now. Play this at the Grammys after our performance during the ad break. To be like, ha ha ha, she did predict it. And I'm like, yes I did. Because we what? Manifest it. I also love how they're best friends. Real quick. I love how they're best friends. I love how they're all genuinely best friends. Like, you know how when One Direction were together, we all thought that they were best friends, and then they came out, like, years later, like now, being like, we actually never got along. Because they're liars. BTS are, like, genuinely best friends. Because they spend all their time together, and they, like, actually care about each other. And, like, so many times, they've talked about how much they love each other, and, like, they'll be crying. And it's just, I love how they're actually best friends. And they actually care about one another. And there's no toxic masculinity there. There is zero toxic masculinity in that band, and we love to see it. They have earrings, they have makeup, they wear feminine clothing. Did you see Jimin's filter performance in the map of the Salt 1 concert? Love that man. It was everything. It was everything. It was everything. Did you see RM's performance? Did you just see Map of the Soul 1 in general? RM's performance? That man said ACAP. That man said down with the establishment. He looked so good. Did you see the fight? I'm just going through a play-by-play. Have you seen the concert? Did you see? I'm blanking on his fucking song because I haven't actually heard it outside of the concert. But Suga's song, when they're all boxing, did you see this the second night where he like genuinely pushes RM? Y'all. That shit was insane. I also love Ego. Ego's a great song. I think that song's super fun. I love Hobie's dance in it. I just love all of them. I love all of them truly with all of my whole heart. I love interviewers who talk to each of the members. There's so many interviews where I've seen where they just talk to RM. Those are mostly the American ones. But I hate when they do that. Just get an interpreter. Don't stop. I was so close to being done. I cannot imagine the pressure RM must be under to be the spokesperson of BTS as like the one who is the most fluent in English. Like that must be so stressful. Not only to just like be a member of the band, but basically to speak on behalf of each of the members because none of these fucking interviewers want to get a Korean interpreter. It must be so stressful. I cannot imagine the level of stress that RM is under as the leader of the group. I think that's another reason why I love him. He's the Louis. And you know how much I love Louis. But yes, I hate when interviewers don't have a Korean interpreter. Just like stop fucking putting that on RM. Just get an interpreter. Stop doing so that everybody can speak. Because when you put it on RM, he feels obligated to like answer all the questions because he's the one that's able to like translate it the most easy. If you just ask a specific member a specific question and then put it through a third-party translator, then everybody can speak and then everybody has a good time. Like, stop putting that fucking pressure on RM. Stop doing that to him. But I just watched I think there was the Radio Disney interview. It was basically like a try not to laugh challenge. That video brings me so much fucking joy. It is beautiful and amazing. But Brent Rivera, I think was the interviewer, he fucking ruined the vibe because he kept trying to talk. And they were all just having a fun time being giggly bitches in Korean, and they should have just let him giggle. It was a great time. Brings me so much joy. But that interviewer wanted to keep talking. I was like, we get that you don't know what they're saying. It doesn't matter. Shut up. He didn't even need to be in the shot. They got what they were supposed to do. Anyways. I also really hate how American interviewers love to infantilize BTS just because they don't know English. They like to talk to them like they're children, and it's like low-key racist. I hate it. Please stop doing that. I love interviews where not only do they translate them into English, but they translate everything that everybody's saying into English, preferably color-coded. Those are my favorite. I think Radio Disney on a different interview did that, where like they have like subtitles for each of them in different colors so I can understand what all of them are saying. I hate when like whoever's translating it into subtitles likes to just do like the main person talking when there's people talking in the background, because I'm like, what everybody's saying matters. Everybody is trying to contribute to this conversation, even if they're talking over each other. What they're all saying matters. So like, translate what they're all saying. My least favorite thing is when I try to fucking watch one of their like interviews or performances in Korean, and then I turn the subtitles and it just says speaking in Korean. I'm like, I fucking know that. What are they saying? No, I hate that. I hate that shit. Don't do that shit. If you're not gonna translate it, then don't fucking do the captions. I love them, and I appreciate all of them and what they individually bring to the band, and I think that they're all valued members, but it's very easy for America to just ignore some of the more quiet members, especially like Taeyoung and Yoongi, who never fucking talk in interviews because they're like a bit more reserved and introverted. It's just, it upsets me that they don't ever get like their chance to talk, because when they do talk, in like specifically in like Korean interviews in which they feel more comfortable, you can see that they have like so many interesting things to say, but they never get the chance because nobody wants to talk to them in their American interviews. It annoys me. It annoys me greatly. I particularly love when they have a nice Korean interview. Those are my favorites. The Korean interviews are subtitled in English because everybody feels way more comfortable to speak. You can even tell when RM is speaking like in American interviews, even though he's like the most fluent in English, he has a different energy speaking in English than he does in Korean. Like, he seems so much more comfortable speaking in Korean. I hate the idea that they obviously feel like obligated to speak in English whenever they're in America. I think that's bullshit. I think English is one of the worst languages ever, and I hate that I know it, and I hate that I have to speak it. I think that they should just speak in Korean, and if people don't understand, that's on them. They should learn Korean. It's not hard. We're in 2020. The age of information. You have Google. You can learn Korean. I find it annoying. I just wish that they all felt more comfortable to speak in Korean in American interviews so that they can all speak. I love all of them, and I value all of their contributions and all the things that they need to say so greatly that when they all don't speak, it makes me sad. Because they all have interesting things to say, and they don't always get to say it because they don't know English, and I think that's bullshit. That's why I love their Korean interviews when everybody gets to speak, because you can just tell that the vibe is different whenever they all are talking in Korean. Like, I saw them do this radio interview with this like big radio host. I'm forgetting his name, but it was like the first radio interview that they'd done in a really long time, and they were like super excited to meet him, and they all just had such a different energy, and they all contributed to the conversation. They all spoke, and they all just seemed comfortable and relaxed, and it was just great. It was great to see. I just went on a whole rant. This video is not supposed to be this long, but I still have more to say. I love how much they care about their fans, and I love whenever they do speeches about how much they love their fans. Their UN speech, their Class of 2020 speech, that shit hits. That shit hits. That shit, I love to see it, because they always say such comforting words. Like, you know the Harry Styles clip from his, like, I think it was Fine Lines documentary, where he's like, it's alright, everything's going to be okay. You know that one? Everyone on fucking Twitter loves that clip, and it makes them feel calm and happy. I love that one. But have you seen Namjoon from the Map of the Soul 1 Day 1 concert say, it's not your fault, it's not anybody's fault, because that shit cured my anxiety. That shit hit different. Like, and he always says shit like that, so much like, so much wisdom and so much like sweetness, and like they genuinely just want to make people feel better. They've said it in every interview for Dynamite that they put out this song because they wanted to bring joy and kindness to their fans, and if they can even make somebody's day a little bit better, then they've done their job, and that's all that they've done for me, and I just love that. I literally was watching an interview like 3 hours ago, just seeing them laugh and giggle, and like they were just so happy, and that filled me with so much joy that I started to cry, because I love them. I love them so much. Like, they say so many kind and sweet and like genuinely heartfelt things. Like when RM, I think it was in his UN speech, the one that they just did a few months ago, where he was like, it's always darkest just before the first light of dawn, and I was like, damn, you're right. Damn, you're so right. I just love them. And anytime I feel bad, I watch BTS and my mood takes a full change, and I just am filled with so much joy because of them. and I can never repay them for that, but I will try. One piece of Weverse merch at a time. I want to buy that scarf. The scarf for the Map of the Soul 1 concert, the one that Taehyung was wearing, and because it's so cute, but it's $21. I'm trying to buy a fucking car. So I don't have that kind of money right now, but one day, if it's not sold out, they came out with a phone too. They came out with a phone like 3 months ago, and it's sold out. I don't even like Samsung. I have an iPhone. I've had an iPhone for like 7 years, 8 years, and I don't want to trade it, especially because I don't want to get a new iPhone. I have an iPhone SE because I like how small it is. It's a 4-inch screen, that's all that I need. But they came out with a Samsung SE, like Galaxy G20 whatever. And it had their logo on the back, but now they're all fucking sold out, and they go for like $2,500 on eBay. But am I still tempted to buy one? Yes, I am. Because if I have to get a new phone, I might as well get a BTS phone. What is the point in getting a non-BTS phone? Tell me why. Give me your reasons. I just love them, and I love all the collaborations. They just came out with a fucking Fila collaboration. I thought I was an A6 stan. I've worn A6 for the past like 5-6 years. That's all I wear because they're so comfy. I am now switching my allegiance to Fila because they got a fucking collaboration with them. Any way that I could give BTS my money, I will do that because I love them. I will be decked out head to toe in BTS clothing one day, and it will be a great day. Because I love them, and I don't know how else I can repay them. They're always like, we do this because of you, and I'm just like, we do this because of you. I just love them, and I just love all that they do, and whenever they have a concert, as soon as this fucking goddamn forsaken pandemic is over, the second they have a concert, I will be there. I probably can't, because they'll probably be performing in Korea, because they have handled the pandemic a lot better than we have, and I probably won't be allowed to leave the country. But if I can, I will be there. The second that I can go to a concert of theirs, I will be there. I don't care where the fuck it is. It's probably not gonna be here because they're not like mainstream enough in America to get here. But like, at least not that far. They were supposed to go to LA like this year for their American tour. I will drive to LA to see them. I don't care where they are. I will be there. I need to see them live. I'm trying to remember what song it is. It's they performed at a Map of the Soul. It's that song. Does that make any sense? Does that ring any bells in your mind? It's the you know the song. It fills me with so much hype. I love that song so fucking much. And I know that if I saw it live, I would go absolutely feral, and I deserve to go off to that song. I deserve it. I am a good person. I deserve to see that song live. Just like I deserve to see War of Hormone live. But we're not gonna get that. That would be my wish. If I could have one wish, if like a genie came to me and was like, yo bitch, you got 3 wishes, what you want? I'd be like, world peace. Unlimited money, see War of Hormone live. Those are my only wishes. That's all we need. We need world peace. I need all the money in the world. I will be the one rich, and I will give all my money away. I am the economy now. If you want anything, you have to appeal to me. And then I want to see War of Hormone live. That's all I want. That's all I want, is to see that song live. I've also, because I'm now an adult, have been able to like them in a more healthy way in that I do not care about their personal lives at all. I used to care a lot when I liked One Direction because that's what all the teen magazines tried to tell us we should care about because that's all that they printed. I do not give a single fuck about the personal lives of BTS. They do whatever they want. None of my business. Whoever they're dating or not dating or what they did or did not, I don't care. I don't care. I care about what the cute shit that they do in their interviews and videos and the music that they make. And we're here to support them for that. We do not need to pry into their personal lives whatsoever because I do not care. I will definitely make more BTS content going forward if this 50-minute video is anything to go by because I love them. Genuinely love them with my whole entire soul. I also still love One Direction, obviously. But One Direction's not doing anything right now. We thought that they were getting back together, but it's clear that they're not. That we've been clowned. But you know who's not gonna clown me? A band that's actually still together. So, if you're a part of the BTS army, let me know. Do you have a bias? Probably. A lot of people do. What do you feel about War of Hormone? Would you also like to see it live, or do you think it's too problematic? Why do you care if it's problematic? If we can recognize that's problematic, I think that's okay. I think that's all we need. Me and my friend were talking about how we think that song's supposed to be satirical. In my mind, that's a haha funny song, because like Jungkook saying fucking yes I'm a bad boy so I like bad girls is the funniest shit I fucking ever heard. I think that's hilarious. I don't think that's serious. I don't think any of the songs will be serious. But is that song a banger? Yes it is. I deserve to scream that chorus in a fucking stadium. Hello, hello, what? I deserve to be able to scream that. Tell me what you want right now. That song slaps, bro. Fuck, that song slaps. Anyways, I love BTS. I have to stop myself every time I'm about to say Big Time Rush because I keep trying to say it, and that's not different band, completely different band. But I love BTS. If you're part of the army, let me know. I will be talking more about BTS, along with my other interests, obviously, but I am now, I guess, a BTS stan, and I know that I'm sort of opening Pandora's box with this. But I love BTS so much, I would genuinely do anything for them, so. I thought I was done, I'm not. I went on my phone, and someone said something about BTS, and I remembered I had more things to say. They work so hard. They have worked so hard because they started in a company that like didn't have all like the clout and all the money to like promote them the way that like other K-pop groups do. So they busted their ass for years to get to this level of worldwide recognition. They've worked so fucking hard, and now they're here, and now they're multi-millionaires, and they deserve every fucking second of it. And I'm so proud of them. I am so fucking proud of them. Like before, I never cared about like voting for my favorite group in like any sort of like award show, whatever, because I was like, award shows don't really mean anything. They're not indicative of like who's actually good or bad, because there's plenty of good people who don't have awards. But you could see how much like them talking about like winning a Grammy or something means to them, and how much they would feel so like validated by getting that level of recognition because of how fucking hard they've worked. So now I vote for them in everything because I know how much it would mean to them to win these American awards in particular. They want to win a Grammy so bad, and they deserve it. The only reason that they haven't is because the Grammys are racist, period. They deserve it. They deserve it. I'm putting that into the world right now that they're going to win a Grammy because they deserve it. I love them so much, and I'm so proud of them and everything that they've accomplished, and I know that they're going to accomplish just so much more because I love them and they're amazing. Like you can see them in rehearsal, and you can see them in like their vlogs that like all they do, they spend so much of their time just like practicing and getting better and making their performances the best that they can be. Like you even see it in the Map of the Soul 1 concert when they're talking about how it's frustrating how they couldn't have put on a better show for us. And I'm like, you guys put on an amazing fucking show. That must have cost them like millions of dollars. And they did that all because they wanted to perform for us. I just love them. They just work so hard, and I just am so proud of everything that they've accomplished, because they've even talked about how they were like really close to like breaking up because they were just like, this is it. And like, no. And look at how far they've come. Like, Jungkook was like fucking 13 when he started. Now he's like 23. Insane. They've just all grown so much, and I'm just so proud of every single one of them and everything that they've accomplished. I'm also fucking done with the rap lines saying that they can't sing. So too many times have I heard shit from RM saying that he can't sing. I'm tired of it. Yoongi can sing, RM can sing, Hobie can sing. They can all fucking sing. Just because you're the rapper of the group does not mean you cannot fucking sing. Every single one of them can sing. Period. I'm not having that shit. I'm very proud of them. Every success that they get, I feel, because it matters so much to them. Like, I watched that award show. I think it was the Lemonade. It was in Hong Kong. I remember that they like accepted this award, and they all got on stage and they just cried because they were just so filled with happiness and pride for finally winning such a big award. And I'm like, that's exactly how they're gonna be when they win their Grammy, because they deserve it. They deserve all the Grammys. I just love them, and I'm so proud of them, and I cannot wait to see what else they do. I feel like I regret joining this late, because I feel like there's so much content that I've just missed out on. There's so many eras that I've missed out on. I'm literally getting in on the tail end of this era, but like, there's so much to come. And in those 2 years in which they have to fucking be in the military, I will have so much content. So I love them so much.